UFC 300, the best card of all time, is here. I'm going to be making a tier list ranking every single fight on this card because every fight could be a main event for a regular fight night. And I'm also going to be making my predictions. Without further ado, let's get right to it. First fight of the night, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbandt. Figueiredo is known for his aggressive and dynamic fight style. He has great striking power. He throws heavy punches and kicks with the intent to finish fights early. He's very intense in his fights, employing combinations to overwhelm his opponents. That's just his fight style. And then Cody Garbandt, on the other hand, he's very explosive, a dynamic fighter, you could say. Primarily, he can be seen as a boxer. He was always that quick fighter, right? Quick with the head movements and technical striking, crisp boxing. But in the recent years, everybody knows he's lost his chin. He has slowed down. But with that being said, combining their styles, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the B tier. Yeah, this is a B tier fight. It's B tier for banger. This is definitely gonna be a banger, so we're gonna go ahead and put this in the B tier, and I will be going with Deiveson Figueiredo by a second or third round knockout. Second fight of the night, Bobby King Green versus Jim Miller. Bobby Green, he is very skilled at mixing up his strikes, to keep his opponents guessing and to create openings for attacks. He is also an adept counter striker as well. Good head movement, good leg movement, good flow, constant pressure. On the other hand, Jim Miller is a seasoned fighter, man. He has fought every type of fighter you could talk about. Throughout his career, he's developed well-rounded fight style with his experience fighting grapplers, fighting strikers, fighting diverse people. He's fought in UFC 100, 200, and now he's fighting in UFC 300. He's not gonna lose this fight, man. I mean, he might lose his fight. He might lose this fight. Bobby King Green is coming off of a terrible knockout. I think he fought Jalin Turner, and it was a terrible referee in that fight. He let Jalin Turner to keep punching even though he was already out cold. But with that being said, Bobby Green and Jim Miller, they do have similar attributes when it comes to their cardio. They have been scheduled to fight each other several times but never came through. This fight would have some action, but Jim Miller, being the smart veteran he is, will try his best to impose a lot of wrestling and grappling to this. I'm gonna put this in the C tier. This is definitely going to be a C tier fight, so we're gonna move this route here. C tier, C tier for casual, ain't nothing too crazy. It's gonna be an action-packed fight. It's going to have its moments, but nothing crazy. And I'm going to be going with Jim Miller by a decision or a submission. On to the next one, Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Andrade, you all know she's known for powerful striking, especially her hands. And her overhand punch is not something you can play with. She generates aggressive striking style. She's relentless. She has pressure constantly. She's always going and moving forward, trying to cut off to the cage, forcing her opponents to engage. On the other hand, Marina Rodriguez uses her Muay Thai background in all her fights. It's very evident in her striking technique. She employs a diverse array of strikes, including punches, kicks, knees, elbows, you name it, right? Her background also allows her to maintain distance effectively, which I think is going to be the key to this fight. She is a very defensive fighter, but she's not scared to engage. She has the solid boxing fundamentals to trade with Andrade, but she can't get too carried away. Combining their skills, I'm gonna put this in the C tier. This is definitely going to be a C tier fight. Another, casual fight, nothing too crazy. It's gonna have its moments. It does have a potential to turn into a B tier, a banger, but with everything being said, you have to make this a C tier fight. And my prediction for this fight, I'm going to pick Marina Rodriguez, because I do think that, like I said, there's going to be action, but there's also going to be a lot of clinching involved. So Marina Rodriguez will be going to keep her distance, and she can handle the clinches. So I'm going to be picking Rodriguez by a decision. On to the next one, Jalin Turner versus Renato Moicano. Jalin Turner, one of my favorite fighters in the lightweight division, primarily known for his striking skills. He utilizes his long reach and height advantage to maintain distance, land strikes from the outside. He also has a very good Muay Thai background with his, mixing it with his kickboxing. So he's going to be trying to strike. He always does that, striking with legs and hands, he's not one of those fighters that just keeps it hand based or leg based or things like that. He mixes it up really good. He's also highly skilled with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He does have a brown belt, so he's not scared to keep this to the ground. If he goes to the ground, I think he can handle his own. On the other hand, Moicano has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so he's always looking to take this to the ground because he does have exceptional grappling skills. On the ground, I would say Moicano definitely has that upper hand, and he finds his way to take it to his base. He's also a pressure fighter. He's not, his striking is actually crisp. He has good striking, but his ground game is way more advanced than his striking. So he can definitely hold his own, but being a smart fighter that he is, he's going to try to take this to the ground. Look, like I said, Moicano trying his best to keep this fight to the ground throughout the fight, but Turner holds his own on the ground as well, and I do believe he'll be able to defend whatever Moicano brings to him and then take it back to the feet. Moicano is so tough though, but there's only so much you can handle, from Turner's constant striking pressure. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be a banger for sure. So I will be putting this in today's tier. Let's move it appropriately. Yeah, the B tier. There we go. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of action, a back and forth from both guys. Like I said, it's gonna be a banger, and I will be going with Jalin Turner by a third round TKO or a decision. Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopez. Man, oh man, this is a slept on fight. Man, this card is so stacked. A lot of cards are slept on. Sodiq Yusuff, known for his powerful striking, particularly his punches. He has good kicks as well. He does possess explosive knockout power in both hands. He's not a left hand or right hand person. He can knock you out with anyone, ending the fights with single strikes. Characterized with that, he does have good speed, accuracy, and precision. He's a good sniper with his strikes, so he can effectively land strikes while avoiding his opponent's attacks. He does utilize a combination of his boxing technique, including jabs, crosses, hooks, uppercuts. He mixes it up very, very well. Now, with that being said, he has demonstrated good takedown defense and is capable of controlling his opponents to the ground as well. Yusuff's explosiveness allows him to generate power in his strikes and execute takedowns with speed and efficiency. Diego Lopez, man, on the other hand, known for his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's his high skill. He has a very, very strong grappling game and is skilled at securing submissions as well. So he mixes his jiu-jitsu and his grappling, and it just looks beautiful. Definitely an upcoming guy. I see how they're trying to break him into the rankings with this fight. Lopez often looks to take his opponents to the ground and then control them. But with that being said, he's actually a good striker. He can hold his own on the feet. He's not scared to engage on the feet. He mixes it up pretty well. He does have decent boxing skills and can throw combinations to set up takedowns. So, the perfect mix of MMA, throwing the nice boxing kicks and all that, and then mixing it with a takedown. perfect skill. Now, both these guys have good cardio. Even Sodiq's last fight, he was doing so good. But you know, Barboza, the smart veteran, was able to pull it off. But like I said, they both have good cardio. They are high paced. When it comes to their fighting skill, they can't give each other any chance to impose their will on this fight. Sodiq will be looking forward to making up for falling short against Barboza, although he performed really well, while Lopez, on the other hand, is going to be looking forward to breaking into the rankings. This is a 50-50 fight, in my opinion, man. Fights, you know, like, it's gonna be an amazing fight, right? Like, hands down. I'm putting this in the A tier because A for amazing. It's gonna be an amazing fight. If there's any fight you guys cannot miss, I mean, I don't think any fight should be missed on this card, honestly, but this is going to be one of the best fights of the card. It's going to be a good fight. A lot of action, back to back, non-stop. It's going to be a war. It's absolutely going to be amazing. 100%, I guarantee you that. And I'll be going with the second underdog of the night, Sodiq Yusuff, by a TKO in round 3. This fight can go anyway. Like I said, it's a 50-50 fight. I won't be surprised if I get this pick wrong, honestly, but I'm going with my guy, Sodiq Yusuff. Next fight, Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Holly's boxing skills are the foundation of her fighting style. She possesses excellent footwork, head movement, and timing. She is known for her crisp jab, you know, straight punches, effective use of angles, and things like that. But she's obviously, you know, in the way older stages of her age and her career. She has slowed down, even though she was always known to be, you know, have a good sense of timing and distance, and allowing her to evade incoming strikes and land effective counters in return. You know, good takedown defense, all that, but her age has just played a big factor in her recent fights. Kayla Harrison, on the other hand, is a judo expertise, and this, like, she's an expert in the judo. I mean, an Olympic champion, 3-time Olympic champion, whatever. But it translates so well to MMA. She utilizes her takedowns and throwing abilities to bring the fight to the ground. She always does that every time. She's known for her powerful and explosive takedowns, often executing them from the clinch or against the cage. Her judo does throw a devastating effect in all her fights. It's all over her fights. So she's capable of generating significant force to slam her opponents to the mat, and she can handle her own on the feet. She's not the best striker, but she's very athletic and she can hold her own. Now, I think Harrison will most likely have a dominant win against Holm, unless we're shocked, you know. But Holm has been looking like her age has been catching up to her, like I said, lately, and she hasn't been performing too well against fighters who impose that wrestling base on her. With that being said, I'm gonna be putting this in the D tier. I see this fight being a wrestling lay and pray, mostly from Kayla Harrison. Kayla will do anything to win this fight. It's her first fight in the UFC, and her being smart, she's definitely going to stink it up as much as she can. That's the best tactic, honestly. I'm gonna go with Kayla Harrison by a decision, and this is absolutely going to be a D tier fight. Yeah, I don't see this fight being, you know, crazy action packed or anything like that. So we're gonna put this down here in the D tier. On to the next one, a fascinating fight, Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. Calvin Kattar possesses a crisp technical boxing, he has very nice technical boxing skills with focus in throwing straight punches, hooks and uppercuts. Kattar utilizes his boxing fundamentals to effectively control the distance and land significant strikes on his opponents. That's his game plan. Everyone can tell he doesn't really change it up. He utilizes kicks as well, knees and elbows. He mixes it up once in a while nicely to keep his opponents guessing. Aljamain Sterling, on the other hand, is proficient in his takedowns and the ability to dictate where the fight takes place, whether it's standing or on the ground. His striking is not the most crisp, but he can hold his own and he keeps improving. But his wrestling skills, though, allow him to secure advantageous positions and maintain control over his opponents. Sterling is capable of transitioning smoothly between positions on the ground and is always a threat to his opponents with his submission attempts. Like I said, his striking technique continues to evolve and he has shown improvements. But look at his last fight with Sean O'Malley. He got caught. So like I said, it was a big mistake that throwing that overhand and not defending himself against O'Malley and getting caught. O'Malley is a fantastic striker in his last fight. But on the other hand, Kattar had a bad injury in his last fight against Arnold Allen. He has been inactive for a while. So this is a hard pick, honestly, a very fascinating matchup. Aljamain, this is his first fight in the bantamweight division. So he's going to be welcomed by Calvin Kattar. I think he will keep this on the ground. He's not going to repeat the same mistake. So he's going to immediately try to keep this on the ground. Try to stink it up again. Yeah, it's the best tactic. There's a possibility for Kattar to keep this on the feet. If he goes that way, one can put it in a C-tier casual fight, but Aljamain is going to keep this on the ground. Backpack, lay and pray, everything. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the D tier. Although it's a fascinating matchup, Aljamain for the most part does have a good fight IQ, so he's gonna impose his will, impose his wrestling and grappling skill and make this a stinky fight. So we're gonna put this in the D tier, and I'll be going with Aljamain Sterling by a decision. Next fight, another fascinating matchup: Jiri Prochazka versus Aleksandar Rakic. Oof, man, Jiri utilizes a wide array of kicks, punches, and spinning techniques, often employing unorthodox angles and timing to catch his opponents off guard. His karate background gives him excellent footwork and distance management, allowing him to control the fight. He has crazy, devastating knee strikes, elbows, in the clinch work. In the clinch, you don't want to be there with Jiri. He employs his Muay Thai skills very well. He is a pressure fighter, constantly moving forward. He doesn't stop. He eats punches and just keeps going. Rakic, on the other hand, possesses solid wrestling skills, allowing him to control the pace and positioning of his fights. That's what he normally does. He is capable of securing takedowns and maintaining top position on the ground, where he can deliver ground and pound strikes, work for submissions. He does lay and pray sometimes, but once in a while he does have good ground and pound. So and he can hold his own on the feet, but he's a very ground based fighter. This is going to be a very back and forth active fight, as all fights with Jiri are, but Rakic would try to make this a boring fight. He can stay on the ground, but he's not gonna try to make this, but he is gonna make this a boring fight. He's gonna make this very wrestling based. He will do everything to win this fight. Jiri will as well, but Jiri will find his opportunities for sure. He will use them wisely. With his constant pressure, he's definitely going to have his opportunities. I'm gonna put this like normally this was a very hard one when it comes to the tier list and the pick as well. Honestly, this is supposed to be a banger. It probably will. It probably will be a banger. It's supposed to be a B tier fact, but gosh, but you know, forget that. I was so close to putting this in the C tier because of Rakic's style, but Jiri is the X factor in this, man. So I'm gonna, and it was hard for me to make this pick because combining their styles, normally, like objectively speaking, I'm supposed to be picking Rakic. Rakic is supposed to win this fight, but he was also injured in his last fight. He has been inactive for a while, and for the first time, Jiri is training at an actual gym, not some wilderness or samurai fortress or something like that. So I'm gonna put this in the B list. This is a risk. It's supposed to be a C because of Rakic's fight style, but I'm gonna put this in the B list. And I was supposed to pick Rakic before I started recording this video, but now talking about it, I'm going Yuri Prochazka by a knockout or TKO in round 2 or round 3. And now we're in the main card, folks. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I mean, like, this is very, very disrespectful having this card on the main card above Jiri and Rakic, Aljamain and Kattar, even Sodiq and Diego Lopez. But I understand what the UFC is doing here. Obviously, they're trying to prop Bo Nickel in their company. He's already a wrestling star. Anybody into wrestling in the wrestling world knows him. So they're trying to transition this into the UFC, which, you know, we complain a lot that the UFC doesn't promote their fighters, their upcoming fighters. This is an example of them doing it. So business-wise, I see what they're trying to do. But man, if Bo Nickel doesn't win this fight, this would be the biggest failed experiment. But I'm not even gonna waste a lot of time going deep into this. It's disrespectful to everybody. We know the UFC is trying to prop up Bo Nickel with this fight. Look, his plus 1300, which I mean more than 1300, but he's a 1350 favorite. You can't even bet on him. So yeah, Bo Nickel by submission, and it's not gonna be the fight is not gonna last that long. This is gonna be a C tier for sure. It's a casual fight. It might have some action. Bo Nickel is fun to watch. He's definitely a fun fighter to watch. I give it that. He's not even experienced when it comes to his resume, but his performances are fantastic. So due to that, being it fun to watch, being it fun to see him impose his will, we're gonna put this in the C tier, and I'm going by Bo Nickel by a submission. On to the next one, Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Man, crazy matchup. Oliveira's submission game is one of his greatest strengths, one of the best submission artists in the UFC. In MMA, he is proficient in a wide range of submission techniques, including chokes, arm locks, leg locks, you name it. He's aggressive when it comes to the submission hunting and allowing him to capitalize that on his opponent's mistakes. Now, he does secure finishes in different ways. He's secured finishes with the highest of the highest. He's beat your favorite fighter. I mean, he's definitely, personally, my favorite championship run is Charles Oliveira, always being looked down on. Again, he is the underdog of this fight. This is another example. But he, aside from his submission game though, like his Muay Thai and his boxing is just up there, man. So he does utilize a diverse arsenal when it comes to strikes, punches, kicks, knees, elbows, you name it. So Oliveira is someone that was always seen as a quitter, but that narrative has literally been washed off. It's no longer relevant. He can adjust his game plan depending on the strengths and weaknesses of his opponents, making him a versatile fighter and capable of competing in all areas of this fight. So his conditioning is right there, no doubt. On the other hand, though, Tsarukyan has a strong wrestling background, which he often utilizes to control the pace and positioning of his fights. He is proficient in his takedowns. He has the ability to dictate where the fight takes place. That's what you see when you watch Arman Tsarukyan. Whether it's standing or on the ground, Tsarukyan is good anywhere. So he's a very wrestling based fighter. His wrestling skills allow him to secure advantageous positions and maintain control over his opponents. He's comfortable on the ground and on the feet. Like I said, he does have good striking technique. He has good precision, timing, and ability to generate power with his strikes. All of a sudden now he has knockout power as well. Man, this was one of the hardest picks for me to make, honestly. Arman is really hungry right now and has been waiting to fight Islam a second time since the last difficult fight for Islam Makhachev, the current lightweight champion, was Arman Tsarukyan, and that was a very close fight. Could have gone either way. But man, Oliveira, people are saying Oliveira is no longer hungry, and I love what I saw a few days ago. He said people saying he's not hungry are ridiculous, and they're just counting him out. He is hungry. He is gonna be champ. So he encouraged me for where I was already trying to go. You see, I see Oliveira pulling this off. This is gonna be another example of the top guys in the lightweight just not letting the new people break in. Arman Tsarukyan shouldn't be really considered as new, you know, but when it comes to the rankings, yeah, he is. Now, this was a very, very hard pick for me. My mind says I should go with Arman Tsarukyan, but man, I'm gonna go with my heart on this one. I just have a feeling, gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this feeling shit, but I have a feeling that Oliveira is going to pull this off. I'm going to be going with Charles Oliveira by a second round submission or a knockout. I could be so wrong with this one, man. I could be so wrong. My bias might be kicking in. But with that being said, I'm going with Oliveira, and this is absolutely going to be an A-tier fight. We're gonna put this in the A-tier. It's going to be amazing. The second A-tier of the night. This is gonna be an amazing fight, back and forth action. It's going to be either a very, very technical fun fight to watch, or then turn into some type of war later in the rounds. But this is gonna be an amazing fight. I cannot wait to watch this fight. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Man, oh man, guys, this is a freaking stacked card. But we all know this. Justin Gaethje is known for his relentless pressure, moving forward style, his constant pressing that action in the fight, pushing his opponents backward and forcing them to fight off their foot. Gaethje's pressure fighting style can overwhelm opponents and lead openings for his powerful strikes. He possesses devastating punching power and is known for his heavy leg kicks. Very, very scary leg kicks, man. Which he uses to chop down opponents and slow their movements. That's his tactic. That's his game plan. Gaethje's striking technique is characterized by his aggression, his precision, and the ability to generate, knockout finishes. That's what he's going for. Max Holloway, on the other hand, man, widely regarded as one of the best strikers in the UFC, hands down. He possesses crisp and technical striking skills with a diverse arsenal of punches, kicks, knees, and elbows. He mixes it up pretty well. Holloway's striking technique is characterized by his fluidity, and his precision and creativity. He's always in there, action-packed. He does have that precision in his fights too. He puts on the pressure. He has a lot of volume, but one thing about Holloway is he does have the ability to switch up and take it to the ground once he sees he's being matched on the feet. Sometimes he might be stubborn and want to keep trading. Gaethje has that tendency to, but both of these guys have grown in their career. They're smarter now. Their IQ is up there. Look, initially, this was an easy pick for me when this fight was announced. But man, Holloway has been looking really good, bulking up. He's been bulking up nicely, healthy. He's not dirty bulking. It's not last minute. He's had a lot of time to grow himself into the lightweight division. Now I'm seeing this as a 50-50 fight. I really am. I really do believe this fight can go any way, like no joke. Both guys come in with non-stop volume and engagement, but I think at the end it's gonna come down to the power. Gaethje has way more power, in my opinion, than Max. Max is probably going to try and wrestle when the damage starts adding up, but Gaethje does have good takedown defense. I'm just gonna go with Justin Gaethje for this, man. I was so close to switching up my pick to Max Holloway because I've been liking the way he's been looking, things he's been saying, his mindset, but I'm gonna go with Justin Gaethje by a decision or a knockout in round 3. Holloway has one of the best chins, but everyone has their breaking point, man. That whole you can't be knocked out thing has been eliminated. We've seen that over and over again. It might be the first time we see Holloway get knocked out, who knows. But this fight is going to be a fantastic fight. It's gonna be so good that we don't even have what word to use for it. It's gonna be one of those fights that will be remembered for forever. So this is going to be a S tier fight, hands down. Like, I am so sure this is, like, you just know this is going to be an S tier fight, the best of the best. This is going to be one of those fights that will be considered as the fight of the year type fights. I cannot wait for this. But yeah, this is going to be an S tier fight. I can't wait to watch it. Going with Justin Gaethje by a decision or a knockout. Man, for the co-main event, Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. Chinese on Chinese. Man, look, we all know Weili is an aggressive fighter. She constantly moves forward and imposes her will on her opponents. She maintains a relentless pace throughout her fights, pressuring her opponents with her striking and grappling attacks. She used to be known as a very, very good striking based martial artist, but now she mixes it up really, really well. Weili's aggression and pressure can quickly overwhelm her opponents and create openings for her to capitalize on. That's what she always does. Her striking abilities are her primary strength, like I said, but she also has solid wrestling and grappling skills, and she has, shown that she can secure takedowns anytime in a fight. On the other hand, Yan is known for her crisp and technical striking abilities. She possesses a background in it's called Sanda, I think, which is a Chinese martial art, but it incorporates striking, wrestling, and grappling techniques. So she's really good. She's a well-rounded fighter. She does utilize a diverse array of strikes as well, everything from knees to elbows, punches, you name it. So, and she also has that precision and accuracy. Yan she's a sniper with her strikes. She knows how to pick her shots. I can't even say she has knockout power, but she knows where to hit. She's very accurate with her strikes, and she has fantastic footwork movement as well, which is a key component to her style. This is another fight where initially I easily picked Weili, but if we're being honest, Yan is a very bad matchup for Weili, especially if she keeps this on the ground. She can really pull it off. She really can. I see a lot of people looking past Yan, easily picking Weili on this, but I think she might shock us, guys. This might be the shock of the night. I just have that feeling. And another thing is because Yan is good at keeping her distance. She really is. But like I said, look, this is a 5-round fight. Weili will have enough opportunity to enact her pressure. She will have enough opportunity to take this to the ground when she needs to. This is a very hard one for me. It was easy, like I said, but I'm gonna go with Weili by decision. I really do think this will be a Chinese war, and so I'm going to put this in the A tier, guys. I know a lot of people are sleeping on this fight as WMMA, but Weili literally has the best, one of the best fights in UFC, period. Men, women, whatever you want to say. They're combining their skills together. I gotta put this in the A tier. This is absolutely going to be an amazing fight, and I'm actually confident about that. So we're gonna put this in the A tier, and I'm going with Weili by a decision. And now for the main event, Aleksandar Pereira versus Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill. Man, oh man, look, this is a fantastic matchup. I know for a fact this is not what was planned for UFC 300. I wish Dana White never did the whole overhyping where he said it was gonna be a super fight type main event. If he just announced it normally, this would have been fantastic, but it was kind of underwhelming. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this is an amazing matchup. Look, Pereira possesses crisp and technical striking abilities. We all know that. He's a kickboxing legend, and now he is already an MMA legend, being a two-time division in such a short time. His story is amazing. So yeah, he does have a wide array of punches, kicks, knees, elbows in his arsenal. Pereira's striking technique is characterized by his power, precision, and effectiveness in both offensive and defensive aspects. Pereira is known for his knockout power. Facts, especially in his punches and kicks. We all know this. He's knocked out in all the ways. He has a natural ability to generate tremendous force behind his strikes, which has led to numerous knockouts throughout his career. That's what you know Alex Pereira for. He is a very dangerous person, man. His power makes him a dangerous opponent for anyone in the striking realm. Let me put that, in the striking realm. So yeah, Pereira, easy, you know. Now Jamahal, my guy, Hill, on the other hand, he's known for his striking skills as well, particularly his boxing techniques. He's a very, very good boxer. He's a sniper. He possesses quick hands, precise striking, like I said, and good footwork, allowing him to land significant strikes on his opponents while avoiding incoming strikes as well. Hill's striking style is characterized by his fluidity and ability to generate power with his punches. He does have knockout power. Come on. You've seen the highlights. I'm sure you have. Hill is known for his exceptional athleticism. He might not look the part, but this guy's an athlete. He gets in shape. He has good cardio, and he definitely uses that to his advantage when he's in the octagon. He's very fast, he's agile, and he can be very, very explosive. But the special thing about Jamahal Hill is he picks the right time to be explosive. He does have good fight IQ. So yeah, this allows him to move quickly and effectively, you know, transitioning, you know, with that good footwork and everything. He knows how to flow in the fights. And he's not bad in the grappling exchanges. Like I said, he's known for his conditioning and can push the pace in the later rounds, wearing down his opponents. Look, man, this is going to be an awesome fight. This is going to be a fantastic fight. It might not last that long. Someone is getting knocked out, but it's gonna be one of those fights where, again, man, it's just a very, very good matchup. Hill may be coming back with it too early from his leg injury, and that is a terrible state to be in to fight Alex Pereira, who has devastating leg kicks. You know, at least that's the narrative. But Pereira, man, he has been rocked in almost all his fights. Almost all of them. And with Hill being a sniper with his shots, I think he will eventually land something clean. I already made a separate video about this. You guys can check it out after this video. A good video, nice breakdown. Jamahal Hill is going to knock Alex Pereira the fuck out. Alex Pereira is getting knocked out, man. He is. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys wouldn't like to hear this, but that's what's going to happen in this fight. It doesn't seem like Alex is taking this match as serious as his other opponents. Definitely not as serious as he took Izzy or even Jan Blachowicz. you know, talking about he wants to fight in UFC 301. Every day you see him training with streamers and rappers and things like that. He doesn't seem 100% focused in his preparation for this fight. And even if he was, I might still be making the same pick. But that is what is making me very confident. Meanwhile, Jamahal Hill is approaching this as the most important fight of his life, which it is the most important fight of his life. So I'm going with Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill for a 3rd round knockout. A 1st round, you know what, he could knock him out at any round, man. Jamahal Hill is going to knock out Alex Pereira, and I'm sorry, this is what is going to happen. I feel like this would be one of those fights that will be talked about forever, again, like I said. Therefore, this is absolutely, no doubt, an S tier fight. Yes, an S tier fight. Yep, that is my pick, guys. That is my pick. And this is the tier list for UFC 300, guys. Every single fight on this card is going to be a good fight. D doesn't even mean it's bad. It's decent, you know, decent at best. It's gonna be a decent fight, still watchable. C is casual, you know, nothing too crazy, but it would have its action here and there. Definitely watchable. B is a banger of a fight. A, an amazing fight. You're going to be thinking about this fight next week, next month, whatever. S is the best of the best, those fights that will be remembered for years to come. So they're all good fights, but obviously there's levels to this. Let me know which is your favorite fight. What matchup are you guys looking forward to the most? Your most confident picks. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Salutes.